Father, once again, Lord, we thank you this day, Lord. We just thank you for the many blessings you send our way, Lord. And Father, we truly are a blessed people, Lord, to be able to live here where we do it and live in the United States and live in the great state of Georgia and Tennessee County, Lord. Just help us all realize, Lord, we're here to do one thing, that's to serve the people of Tennessee County and then go about their business and look after their affairs. And Lord, help us to do this always in a way that's pleasing in your sight. And Lord, just continue to bless each and every one here. Bless each one as they travel back and forth to their jobs, to their places. The weather's bad today, Lord. Just bring them there safe and take them home safely, Lord. And Lord, once again, just continue to bless our workers, our crews, and our men and women who serve us each and every day, Lord. Just keep them safe as they go about their daily duties. We ask all these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Approval of the minutes. Is everybody kind of read over there? Anything wrong with them?
Mr. Chairman, before we proceed, I would like to amend the agenda to add the 911, the fire hydrants update for Sand Hill. Can we add that on the agenda?
Yes.
Motion to approve it.
Yeah.
You made a motion, I'll second it.
Okay. So, okay. The
Motion to approve the minutes.
minutes, yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
So approved. Development Authority. Okay, so hard.
I got here just in time, didn't I?
You sure did. You like to miss.
I know, y'all better skip right over me. I just wanted to come and give you an update about what's going on with the Development Authority. We recently had a change in our status as one of the bottom 40 least developed communities in the state of Georgia, which is actually a good thing. It's based on unemployment rates, poverty rates, and per capita income. So what that means, though, is businesses right now, any business who adds 2 or more jobs and meets certain criteria, they can qualify for a $3,500 tax credit plus another $500 tax credit because the Development Authority is a member of a joint development authority. Now that we are no longer in the bottom 40, businesses have to be in a strategic sector in order to qualify for the tax credits. So that means like manufacturing, warehousing, distribution, only those businesses can claim the credit now. So I'm just kind of making everybody aware of that. If a business is not in one of the strategic sectors, but thinks they're going to add jobs this year, they can file a notice of intent by February the 15th and still claim the credit for this year. And that's a state incentive, that's not a local incentive, so it doesn't do anything to the, our local tax dollars. But if anybody has any questions about that, or you hear of a business adding jobs, let me know and I'll be happy to help them make sure they can claim the tax credit. Also, we're working on an existing industry expansion project, and the business has already added 19 jobs, and the Development Authority in partnership with the city is working on extending water lines for fire protection. We also Every year I do an existing industry survey where I go out and talk to all the industries, and I'm not even halfway through with it, and our industries have already reported that they've added 33 jobs this year. So that's a really good thing. And plus, I'll report again when I complete the survey. Also, the Development Authority recently mutually agreed with Inova, the prospect we had for the East Industrial Park, to terminate the MOU we had with them. It's been 10 months and we haven't had any activity at the, actually it's been 11 months now, at the East Industrial Park on the 52 acres that we had agreed to convey to Inova. And they don't now they have had some changes, and they don't have any immediate plans to open a chipping mill here or anywhere else, and have agreed to, they want to focus their capital on their projects that they already have, their existing facilities. But that prospect was going to add 10 to 15 jobs, and our existing industries have already almost doubled that this year. So. And then a few dates that I wanted to give to you. April the 16th is, we're having a manufacturing appreciation luncheon at the depot at 11:30. Also, we are planning the community-wide planning retreat, and I think Jacqueline has probably already mentioned that to you. I think you're getting ready to do a strategic work with Scott Purvis of Georgia Power to do a strategic planning session, but that date is July 28th. And also, October the 29th is the community showcase like we did last year down at the Eco Lodge.
What was that depot date again?
It was April the 16th.
April.
You said 6th? I thought it said 7th.
April
16th.
16th.
I may have said 6th, I meant 16th.
April 16th.
And that's all. Does anybody have any questions?
One question, Rick.
Okay.
I know that DOT, we have 2 representatives here. I haven't met them before until one came in earlier, and it might not be their department to talk about this, but out there on the turn lane going into through the park on the east side of town, has anybody discussed with DOT about a turn lane out there?
Yes, and it's in their plans. There's going to be an ACL lane there. The crossing's going to be upgraded. There are going to be a lot of changes that are really going to help out our property there at East Park. And we have a copy of that drawing. I'll be happy to share it with Jacqueline, and she can share it with y'all if you want to
As long as
see it.
it's on the drawing board.
Yeah, and the industries that are out there now have all seen the drawing, and that suits their needs.
That's great.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thanks for Jason.
You're welcome.
Request for a grant application for a code red advanced notification system. EMA Director Will Joyce.
When we approved our mitigation plans, as you know, that we were kind of behind in, it's in the plans for an advanced early notification system for weather emergencies, anything that may go on, any type of incident, we may have wildfires, what have you. Now, right now, the notification system that we have is the weather sirens. And how often are you gonna be outside with weather like this to know that there's gonna be a weather event and then have to be able to hear the siren? There's several different notification systems such as Code Red. There's thousands out there. But what they provide is a text message, an email, and a phone call to your home, kind of like the school system has that we can go with. The several that I've priced have been in the $6,000 a year range. Code Red has given Atkinson County, Lanier County, and Clinch County a bundle package price. It's going to be $10,000, roughly right up under $10,000, but it would cost the county $3,750 a year. There is a 15% grant match that's done through the Code Red, but the lady's saying it may take a year or two for that to even come about. I would like to go ahead and apply for this grant, because, I mean, why not go ahead and apply for it? I mean, if they turn us down, they turn us down. But it's something that I would really like to, for us to have here, because, when you get people, I'm sure some that's living over around the Sand Hill area, even the south end of the county, they're not gonna hear the siren from the rec park. Cause you got two, you got one in the rec park, and you got one in DuPont. You still got citizens in Argyle, still got citizens in Fargo that doesn't have anything as well. The way Code Red works is, once the National Weather Service sends out their weather emergency warning, there's a GPS coordinates, and if you're inside that GPS coordinates, you'll get the weather alert. So, something that I would like for the board
How will
to
you get it,
consider.
Will?
On a text message.
Text
yes,
message.
sir. You get a text message, a cell phone, or a home phone, and an email. And also they have a website. They will design you a website, say there's even announcing for a county commissioners meeting. You can go on that website and you can say, we have this. With the road closure the other day, that can be put on there, road closed, direction, this is your detour around. So there's several benefits, and they're giving the Tri-County area a decent price for that. So, something that, I'd like to consider, They even said that the school board could kind of piggyback onto us. If she quoted me right, the school board's paying about $2.50 per student for that Blackboard messaging system. They can go on this for 50 cents a child instead of $2.50 a child. So that would save school board money there also. So, just something to consider on that.
So what do you need, a motion to go ahead and apply for the grant? That's what
If
you need?
y'all will do it that way, and then try to, some way come up with funding to do this. Lanier County's already on board, they're ready, and Atkinson County is ready as well.
Okay, I was gonna ask you, were they already?
Yes, sir.
Because $10,000 is gonna be
Right.
split between the tri-county.
Yes, sir, that's right, that's right. I think the initial cost was gonna be $37.50 per county, but that's because there's like a setup fee, that initial setup fee, and then that comes off. So it's gonna be roughly around 35, 36.
Per year.
A year, right, a year. And that being per county.
Okay, they're gonna be an initial setup cost that we out of pocket.
It would be included into that 10,000 that the
Okay.
county's put in. The lady said it'd be $37.50 will actually be what it would cost each county to get it initially set up, and then it's gonna be, 35, 36, something like that.
You feel this is the best system?
I do. I've actually, trying to think the exact number. I know one reason we liked it was because the system that they have, but also our neighboring counties use it also. Eccles County uses it, Ware County uses it, your Berrien County, your counties right here that you're gonna be working with in the event of something happening. They're
all-
using it as
they're
well.
all
That's right. They're
be
on the same
same.
system, right. That's right. So, we get it okay to just go ahead and apply for this grant, even though it may be a year or so now before it comes up, but they will reimburse what we put in.
But we're still gonna keep the alarm system.
Right. The sirens will stay there.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion, we go ahead and fulfill our part of the obligation of $37.50, and ask Will if we would to go and apply for the grant on top of that, where we make and get that. and
Right. Get that 15%.
and get that 15% max or whatever, and, I just think it's too good a deal. I'd hate something to happen and us not be able to work our people.
Yeah.
I second.
Have a motion on the floor and a second. That we'll go ahead and apply for the grant.
And that also includes us going ahead and funding $37.50.
Funding, yeah, funding $37.
We just have to figure out where it's gonna, what pockets, what product's gonna come out of.
Okay.
It.
Got the motion
Pull
and
the
the
shit
second.
out.
Motion and second, and, all in favor? So moved.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Thank you, Will. Georgia Department of Transportation Projects update, Matt Bennett.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Before I get started, I wanted to let y'all know, I do have Brian Check, he's the area engineer out of Waycross. He handles this whole area. He will be the contact primarily during the construction phases of all the 84, 38 projects. And I wanted to apologize for Ms. Jill Nagel, actually who set this up, and I think she contacted Ms. Jacqueline this morning. She nearly to the point of needing to go to the hospital. She's so sick this morning, and so I'm going to handle the meeting and the questions. That being said, I wanted to kind of give you an idea of why we're here. One, primarily to keep y'all in the loop, update y'all on what's going on. Part of the obligation after the roundabouts were added at Argyle, on each end of the bypass, FHWA typically makes us go back with such a significant change to the public and do a public meeting. In this case, because we were trying to hold the schedule and so forth, we actually went to Argyle and asked them, you know, we had a little town hall meeting, we presented everything, and we said, you know, what do y'all want to do? And they did not feel the need for an additional public meeting. But what we did do is we committed to them as well as FHWA, Federal Highway Administration, to make a concerted effort, a push to disseminate additional information as it relates to the roundabouts in particular. I am here today to answer any questions specific to that. I will entertain any questions on the 84-38 project, you know, by and large. Some of your alt system stuff I may not be familiar with if it's just getting started. I am the district program manager, so if it is in our system and it is within the 26 counties of District 5, I will at some point have my hands in it to deliver it. Basically is what our office does, is keep it on schedule within budget and the scope to what's needed. I do apologize again. Ms. Jill typically brings the illustrations. We would have some layouts to show y'all, and I'm sure I can get Ms. Jill to send Jacqueline that. Whatever y'all need, you know, we're just kind of trying to make it work so we didn't have to reschedule because of her absence. So with that said, I'll open the floor. If there's anything y'all would like to know, feel free.
Brian, what's Brian's last name?
Brian
Check.
Check.
Are you the engineer over the project out here?
Yes, sir, I will be.
Okay. I'd like to get a card from both of y'all if
Yes.
possible.
I've got mine. And the way that works is Brian is the area engineer, so he handles maintenance and construction for the whole area. He's got a construction assistant that will be handling construction primarily for Brian. And then on site, you know, there's three main sections of roadway that'll be three different project contracts. Just to kind of give you an idea, maybe expound a little bit. The first one goes from, you know, right here going out of town towards Argyle. That's the longest section. It's about 11.5 miles. It goes just on the other side of Argyle to right around where that bridge is at, if y'all are familiar, the next bridge right outside of Argyle. The next one picks up there, goes through Manor and just about the county line, just past the county line. And then the third one picks up there, goes all the way into Waycross.
The Jessup Division, you're gonna be handling that, not Tifton Division?
Yes, sir. When the district lines change, Kent County become part of District 5, I'm sure y'all are aware of that. And we still have some things crossing over. For instance, your section right here that's, I'm gonna refer to it as 422-120. That's the PI number, that's what we just used to identify the project. That's the one that is completely 100% in Kent County on y'all's end, and we're still trying to buy right away, trying to get it cleaned up, and that's actually taking place out of the district office in 4. Kim Bradford and that right-of-way office is handling that. The other two were handled out of District 5 right-of-way acquisition.
What percent of the right-of-way you think they require at this point?
Right now, we've got the majority of it. The two projects south of y'all, is 100%, it's done. The only ones that are lingering is your end, and as of right now, I've got, this is actually there's about 100 parcels acquired. There's 118 total. Some of those are some relocations and some condemnations that we're having to, that's just what drives the schedule, takes the longest process. I don't know, right outside of, right there at the, what would be the east side of Argyle, Miss Karen Steedley. If y'all know her, we've been trying to work with her to get her situated and treat her right as right as we can, and she's been very pleased with the efforts we've made so far. But that is kind of what's driving the whole schedule. So the rest of them will be cleaned up. Her relocation package is being worked on now and trying to be finalized. So we're real close, very close.
I have one question about Karen Stevens' place there.
Okay.
As you're coming east from Maynard, I'll say, into Argyle, you're gonna drop down off of the 4-lane, come into the roundabout. Everything will be running counterclockwise at that point. And the creek is right past the S curve now, going west, going east toward Waycross. That's the heavy drainage system for all of Argyle. When she moves her house back, which I talked to her last week about it, she plans to move it in that field there back where her mother and father. That water coming off of the 4-lane, coming south, natural drain toward that creek. And that roundabout road dropping down south from the south boundary of the new 4-lane north of Argyle. I know that the engineers, I know for certain that y'all plan something to take all that water out of that around that post office, her house, and back of her mother and father. So there's gonna be a lot of water coming in there.
Yes, sir. And we actually, you know, depending on what she decides moving forward, we do not even have a permanent answer from her yet, saying, yes, that's what I'm gonna do. She still has a couple of options that she can explore. But once we verify that answer, we will make whatever arrangements we can to, may require a plan revision to make sure this little tweak here and there will make sure the water gets off of them. But I can tell you that I spoke with her last week. I also spoke with our right-of-way office once again about her decision and her contemplating what she wanted to do. And I was asked about the drainage, and I pulled the plans up, and from what I can tell, even her decision doesn't make a difference one way or the other, because we are currently catching that water on her side, but taking it to the other side, to the outfall. So her, I'm sure you're aware if you're familiar with her location, it's a very wet location on the back side of her. A lot of that is going to be cleared, and the ditches being cut will actually perk that water. It should dry her piece of property up considerably.
That's good news.
So she may end up actually having, her and her parents may have some usable land that's not currently usable once it draws that water out. Our roadside ditches will draw that water, and we're actually gonna send it to the other side of the 4-lane section. But yes, we will make sure, I mean, you know, that's typical for us. We can't flood anybody, put our water on you know, as a private, commercial or residential.
She assured me she was well pleased with the way negotiations were going. I didn't know who she was talking to other than Kim Bradford.
Yes, sir. Me and Kim is who she's dealing with. And, that was a pretty unique situation. It was kind of late that I am not the original project manager for this project. Y'all may know Jeremy Busby. That name may sound familiar to you. He left the department about May, and I took over these projects from him, and we have been working trying to clean them up, and in particular areas like Miss Steven, those real unique but scheduled driving parcels and issues. So I think she's been happy.
She's had. I talked to Buzz one time about O'Connell's Coonhide building back there, Argyle, which was on the EPA list, you know, for old antique historic
History.
buildings.
Yes, sir.
That old green shed on the right going through.
Unfortunately, just to kind of touch on history, it's not department driven, I promise. I can't even own a piece of property with a historic building on it, and if I want you to come through my property, I can't even tear it down and you come through my property if that's why I tore it down. The federal guidelines are just very immensely strict in those environmental sensitive areas. It don't matter if it's history, ecology, archaeology, all of those are very protected.
One last question, and I'll hush. When's the grubbing date gonna start?
Well, you know, I told you we was gonna talk about funding. Here's the bottom line. We have submitted final plans. I need to clean up some environmental stuff. I need to clean up the right of way. But at the end of the day, I'm afraid I'm gonna be ahead of funding. Until this federal bill is worked out and we find out what we're gonna get for the remaining, Georgia is going to get for the remaining fiscal year and or the proposed long-term federal bill, I can't answer that question. I can tell you this. Upper management with the Department of Transportation a couple of months ago sent down to every person in my position in each district and asked for a priority list, your top 3 projects. And 2 of the 84 projects was in my top 3. So we do understand the urgency. We do want to deliver it. But our hands are tied at this point with the federal funding, and we're basically, you know, the Department of Transportation is trying to stay in business while being good stewards of our funding as well as get us through the fiscal year. We'll find out more in May, is the last I heard. We should know something by May. So that gives you an idea. And I'm not trying to dodge the question. It's just I don't know. I don't know any more than y'all do about how the funding is going to hit and land. So. Anything else?
Appreciate what you're doing. I wish that's one piece of road sure needs to be fixed.
Really good.
Y'all on the ditch side, like you say, y'all are, it'll help everybody in Argyle on the north side of the road. So that's wet stuff. It gets heavy duty. It gets rough in there. Hey, anybody else? Jackie? Henry? Debbie? Jack? Okay, thank you. Okay, the next thing is appointment to fill the unexpired term of Ms. Gail Register on the election board.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate in the form of a motion, Lorraine Burkhardt for that position. She's young, alert, bright, her integrity is above reproach. Her character is excellent. She's willing to learn. I've talked to her about it. And she's very interested in serving on that board.
I have a motion.
I'll second.
Have a second. All in favor of Lorraine Burkhardt?
Aye.
So approved. Appointment to fill the unexpired term of Ms. Nan Michael on the 911 board. Thanks.
I'll make a motion to appoint Chad Brown.
I second that.
Have a motion, second. Chairman Brown, Mr. Brown to the 911 board. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Appointment to fill the unexpired term of Ms. Nan Michael on the Board of Health.
Make a motion that we appoint Kent McLean to fill that unexpired term.
Second. Have a motion, second. Chairman, Commissioner McLean. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. the, quick claim deed for Moonshadow Road. Y'all look at that. Any discussion we need to do on?
I'd like to ask the county attorney a question about Moonshadow.
Okay.
Mr. Corley, can we accept the existing right-of-way as is out there, which is about 35 feet from back slope ditch to the back slope of the other ditch across the road? Or is there a minimum amount the county can accept on the county graded road?
I know there's no minimum by law, but then when you start applying for funds from the DOT and other areas to pay, there's a minimum requirement.
Yeah, that was my question. Yeah, it wouldn't be relevant to that.
I think it would make sense if we got the minimum from DOT, and if we ever got that on the LME list, to be able to play that.
If it was ever a petition to pay it sometime in the future, we have down the road, then, I know we'd have to acquire additional 25-foot right of way if we set 35. At that time, it'd be up to the property owners on both sides as to what they want to do.
I think in the past, y'all, the commission generally followed a policy and procedure of making sure that you had the required DOT right away in the front. I don't know if you've made other exceptions to that or not, I'm not aware of any offhand.
I know that the 35 feet out there has been graded, maintained, the county's had dominion over it for approximately 18 years. So I know they've got some cover or title under adverse possession right or even by restriction, so I don't see how, we could hardly afford not to take that part if they wouldn't offer free of charge. We maintain it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if you graded it from ditch to ditch that long, it is probably a county road. At least there's some right of the landowners out there to, the residents out there to use it as a public thoroughfare, correct?
I move that we accept it.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Second.
Okay. Got a motion and a second to approve the, quick claim deed for Moonshadow Road. All in favor? So moved. The Sand Hill Fire Hydrant Project. We discussed that, at our work session. And we have looked at what they're doing with the, industrial authority going out to, Woodyard, you call it Woodyard, thank you, I didn't say it. And we have contacted, I think, Jacqueline, if I'm wrong, have you contacted statewide?
I haven't yet.
Okay.
I contacted, I called the city manager, Wayne, to see if maybe, we could get with Danny Strickland, our fire chief, and see, how much that type of thing costs. But I've made plans this week to make contact with statewide and the REC.
Okay. And we also got to find out, we understand that there might be a 6-inch water line running down that road, that the man that built or put in that project over there probably put that water line in himself. At that point, we could tie into it. And probably cut our costs some.
I'm pretty sure that line's there.
But I was told that statewide, for the grant and everything, you need to use statewide to let them apply for it and all that. So it is in the talking stage and in the works of getting it done as soon as possible. When the money becomes available, none of us have anything to do with that.
So what we're talking about is stub out, right?
Yeah.
Stub out.
Every 500 feet, I think you need a hydrant to be under the fire code.
And what portion of that is inside the city of Homeville? I know what it looks like on the map.
I think to the left in the city, Ken, when you go in there, one road goes straight ahead, I think everything straight ahead on the, I know the right-hand side, and it might be a little bit of the left-hand side is in the county. And I think everything back to the left, back to the east would be,
I think the bottom 3 or 4 houses on the bottom of that road are in the city. I and the rest of everything got the road, you're talking about going down the spurs that come off that main road.
Yeah,
There's a few houses on each side of that that I know that were in my district, as far as District 5 goes, which would be out of the city.
okay. It's just,
I don't know
That's right,
exactly,
I
I don't
told
know
Jack
exactly
that-
where that line runs through there.
yeah, I told Jackman that if you could, just get a hold of Wade and let's try to figure out how
Right.
much the city had, how much we had, maybe we could work together on a dual project.
And also maybe check with Wade, see if he has a blueprint or, you know, the water line, existing water lines there, if Johnny let him have a copy of that, and then if not, let's see if Johnny will get with us, and let me know, and I'll get with Johnny and see what he's got there.
Jacqueline, would you have Pam Welch or Dale Smith to call Wade right now and ask him? I'm almost certain that was 6-inch line that's in there. Just call the city manager right now.
It's gonna make our work easier.
Still on that, and then slide that off.
Yeah, you probably stuff them out a lot cheaper when you put the line down.
So in case y'all gonna tie in and go straight from out the
Reddick Street.
Reddick Street Extension out to the DuPont Yard, is that right, what y'all looking at doing?
Right there, right at the edge of the industrial park on the bypass road.
Okay,
How much pipe have y'all already laid water line? Okay,
We haven't, you mean for.
but there's some already there, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah, there's some that goes all the way to design space, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Up to designs, where design space was.
okay, so it's already there
which
to
is
design space,
Uh-huh.
okay. You're just looking at going on into the DuPont Yard?
now.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that wasn't even there.
Yeah, I thought I understood the other day that it was stubbed all the way to the bypass road, right?
It is.
I'm not being tested, and it's one of the schools, and when the schools test us, how they.
Somebody had to put a water line down there. You
I know they don't see it.
I mean, I don't see.
Johnny ran the line, I don't know what side. Johnny can tell you, probably, but we'll find that out. They're either there or not, so, maybe all we can do about it this morning.
What's the minimum size line you got to have to put the fire hydrant?
You know, Will?
I'm not sure right off.
Maybe at least a 6.
Yeah.
You look, it coming, where it comes out, that's about a 6 inch.
At least, yeah.
It comes out of fire, it's about a 6.
They about have to have 6-inch lines to take care of the water, any pressure at all going in there.
Well, we need to have the ability to hook on to hydrant in that neighborhood, because some of the houses are a little tight right in there.
Yes.
You could have a domino effect if you had a fire. They'd have to start and come back up there to Brown Street. Here's fire hydrant, but re-water up. Time you get back,
There's one right when you turn off Brown, going in there, right in that, where you, that's the
I
patch
think
of
that's
time.
the closest one, right?
It is. Would probably be closer, you down on the far end of that thing on the east end, would drag a hose down that canal, would be closer than, you know, any other way, that come right off Brown. I don't know where the hydrant is over there, but I'm sure there's one there.
Roger, let me say this while we're waiting, everybody here, we're trying our best to get around all these county roads, we know they're bad. It seems like every time we get them done, it just comes another 3-inch rain. And so the county crew, they're doing as good as they can. I think they about got around last week, I think, to everything where the buses were running, the mail was running, I think they hopefully got around. If they didn't by some chance, let us know if they didn't get your road, and we'll see if we can get there too. And of course, then I don't think we'll get a whole lot out of this morning, so I don't think it's gonna affect us too much this morning, but we got over, what was last Friday we got 3 3/10 inches, I think, at the house, and that's what we got, so. I don't know too many roads can stand that when it's the weather's was already, so.
Henry, if we run out of money, we'll borrow it from Steiner Jones, he's out here.
Alright. You got it.
Driver got his road paved, but his hadn't had it every time.
I talked to Joe Mizell, the water superintendent, and he said that right now there's only one main line out there, and it's really just for flushing. It wouldn't be adequate for fire protection. It's like a 4-inch line, and he said fire protection you need at least 8-inch. You can do it on a 6-inch, but you would, probably want an 8-inch out there.
Does that 4-inch line go all the way around?
I think he just said there was just one on that main road. I don't think it goes like on the side.
So they just tied on to that with probably 3/4-inch lines to each
Right.
hole.
Yeah.
That needs to be upgraded.
Well, what, the statewide, they'll do a overview of it and recommend, and then apply for a grant, right?
Right.
For fire protection.
Thank you, Roger.
All righty. We'll work on that, budget possible. All righty. That's it for our meeting today. I hear a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All approved? All righty. Thank
Thank
y'all for
y'all for
coming.
Hey. How you doing? Hey, man.
Mr. Bobby Worthy, when we was coming out of the meeting, you had some concerns. What was your concerns today? As they adjourned the Clinch County Board of Commissioners, what was your concern you want to talk to us about today?
Well, I was shocked about the adjourn without me being on the agenda, and I noticed that I wasn't on the agenda. So I went back in and discussed it with the chairman, the current chairman, and he said they sent me an email on why I wasn't on the agenda. So I hadn't checked my email yet, but last night I did look at my email. There was nothing in there from the county commissioners.
Why did you want to be on the agenda?
But I was going to address issues that's going on in the community, my threats that happened last time, the reason why, and what was going on, and that I would be informing the county commissioner that I would be filing a TRO to immediately remove Deborah Thomas from office.
Okay, when you find out why they did not put you on the agenda, will you promise you'll get back with us so we can keep the people informed of what's going on?
Yes, most definitely.
What was the response from the commissioners here? What was the reason for it? Again, for the record.
Well, all he said was that they sent me an email.
He didn't say why?
He didn't say why. He said check your email.
Okay. And why didn't you bring that up before the meeting was adjourned?
Because I already knew that I wasn't on the agenda because I saw it. So you
wouldn't make. So you didn't want to make an issue out of it.
I didn't want to make an issue out of it.
Peace and harmony being the strength of all institutions, I guess.
Right.
Thank you. To get all free prayers doing what we do because you have a right to know. Until next time, bye bye. Gone. Power to the people. Pass it on.